a very cute ending to this episode. I am really, really happy next week's episode is going to be focusing on Natchan and Achan. It's going to be centered around them. We're probably going to get a lot of romance. It's probably going to have, like, a lot of awesome sentimental type conversations between them. For instance, you know, how they first met at the beginning of the series, how Achan first got into tennis. There's probably going to be a lot of conversations that are going to bring up a lot of memories from Baby Steps. And so, I'm willing to bet next week's episode is going to be very saddening, happy, and it's just going to be very cute, because, I mean, you're going to have Achan and Natchan going on a date pretty much together, going to the movies, probably going to an arcade, different stuff like that. So it's really cool getting to see these two characters that, you know, a lot of fans have been shipping together for a long time while watching this anime, is going to probably be having some form of romance couple next week. Now, I'm so glad I wasn't worried about Natchan's match last week, because this episode begins, and she just demolishes that player. She just demolishes that female player at the beginning of this episode, and she wins the entire tournament. So I was like, damn, she was really good. So I'm glad I didn't worry too much about that. Natchan is just too badass. She's too badass and too good of a player to lose right there. And so, majority of this episode, you really can't count it towards that cliffhanger from last episode. Majority of the episode is Achan trying to deal with what he wants to do. For instance, what does he want to do besides what he needs to do? For instance, like, he's always, you know, working, training, practicing for tennis, but that is stuff he needs to do. What does he want to do was the big question that was thrown up. So you have a new coach appear in this episode and is starting to train Achan and tells him he needs to go home for 2 days, he needs to rest, he needs to do everything he wants to do. Now, I have a couple of theories why the coach did that. It's pretty obvious why. Because Achan, as we know as a character, he pushes himself to the absolute limit. There's one thing from having physical activity and working your body to the limit to let it grow, but there's another to when you're pushing your body to the maximum and your body can't have enough, like, rest. Like, it's not getting enough rest. Even if you have 2 rest days, it doesn't help if you're putting too much stress on the body. So with this episode, more realistic things are brought up in this, and Achan can't just, you know, cram everything into a couple days to try to learn everything and be a better player. And so I feel like, once again, Baby Steps takes another realistic route of training Achan. He has to take breaks. He needs to take breaks. He needs to do things he wants to do. But I think the main concept of why the coach said he needs to do the stuff he wants to do is because he wants to see what type of schedule or life Achan has. Like, you know, what type of eating habits does he have? Like, what does he normally eat? Because let's say if I was training, okay, and practicing, and I was to go eat nothing but junk food and snacks and stuff and soda as soon as I get home, most likely the coach, if I write that down, will look at that and he'll be like, oh my god, all you do is eat snacks and junk food. You need to change your diet up to make it a lot healthier before you can, you know, be better at training, better at practice, and better at tennis. So definitely I can see where that's going there, why he wants him to write down what he wants to eat and stuff like that, or see what he wants to do, see if, you know, he's exerting too much energy probably in these other activities. Now, I like the episode. The episode is very good. It sets up a lot of things, pretty much what we should probably expect in a possibility of a Season 2 of Baby Steps. Now, I highly doubt, truthfully, we'll ever get a Season 2 of Baby Steps on this anime. I really doubt it. Because Baby Steps is, once again, one of those series that it's underrated. It's a really underrated series. It doesn't have that popularity like other sports anime, which is very saddening, because this episode is very good, and this entire series, as we've all witnessed firsthand, how great this series is. We've all witnessed how great this series is if you've watched it this far, but sadly enough, many people drop the series because of the hairstyle of Achan, or because of the animation. Once again, it's the animation's fault, which is so sad. It is really sad too, because it's doubtful that this will get a Season 2, because since there's not a lot of popularity, if I'm correct, I could be wrong, but since there's not so much popularity, I haven't seen so much talk about it, that would mean that the sales are not going to be that good for the series, and that would mean that there might not be a Season 2. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I could be wrong. There could be a Season 2. If there definitely is, I definitely would watch it, though. Now, the animation of this episode looked good. There's a couple of derps here and there, as usual, but I mean, nothing too bad that really distracted the overall awesomeness from this episode. And so, good episode. Once again, another good episode. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How'd you feel about this week's episode of Baby Steps? Love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.